What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another review on my channel. It's quite loud in here. That is because I'm sitting in the A5 3.2 liter naturally aspirated V6 from the year 2007 until 2011. This is a pre-facelift model. I've been doing a video on this car, or 2 or 3 videos on this car, I don't know, quite a while ago. It is not my own car, but it's my stepdad's, and I was driving that car for 2 years now, 2.5 years now, mostly in between the time of the Corsa. Yes, I owned the Corsa once, and the Mito. So, and every now and then when I was bored of the Mito or the sound of the Mito, because this car obviously sounds great, or when I wanted to drive an automatic, because this car here is an 8-speed Multitronic automatic. 2-door coupe, V6, naturally aspirated. What else do you want is the question. Now let me tell you things about the car that I like and things about the car that I don't like. So first of all, this car here, to state the facts, produces 330 Newton meters or 243 foot-pounds of torque, has an 8-speed Multitronic automatic gearbox. I think 8 speeds are quite rare if you are looking at cars from that time, 2007. I mean, come on, that's over 10 years ago. It does have shift pedals, which is also not a standard in cars of that age. The 0 to 60 is pretty nice if you have the Quattro version, which is not the case here. We only have the front-wheel drive version right here. If you have the Quattro version, it has a 6.1 seconds 0 to 100 kilometers an hour run, which is quite fast, I think, for a naturally aspirated V6 with only 265 horsepower. We have a few mods on this car, which is the center exhaust, and it's quite low on the ground as well, with a 19-inch wheels in the winter and 20-inch wheels in the summer. It's sitting quite nice on the street, but just have a little hint on how the exhaust sounds. Bought it with this exhaust. We did not assemble this exhaust ourselves, which is kind of sad because I would love to do that to a car like that. But let us continue on facts and things that this car has. Well, this car weighs a lot. Exactly 16 to 1700 kilograms of weight right here, which is, I think, way too much for a small coupe like that. This car is not big. It does look big, but it's not big, especially not from the inside, but I'll get to that later. This car here features the Audi MMI. I don't know if that was new to that time. It is Audi Multimedia Interface. That's what MMI is standing for. But unfortunately, it doesn't even feature an AUX input. So that means listening to your own music requires old-fashioned CDs, or you get a transmitter. But transmitters tend to be annoying. Using FM transmitters is so old-fashioned, you shouldn't be forced to use that in a car like that. I mean, this car is old, but even my Corsa had an AUX input, and that car was from about the same time. Yeah. Overall, I gotta tell you, I'm not too satisfied with the interior's looks. It is so overloaded with buttons and things to press and touch and turn and switches and everything. It's just not beautiful at all. And it does give you a hard time to get used to it. Actually, I still, even after 2.5 years of driving this car, or 3 almost, I don't really know, I still am searching for the right buttons to press. If I want to go to the navigation, if I want to, I don't know, turn the seat heaters on. It's quite cheesy, it's unintuitive, and it's very much out of plastic, to be honest. It is looking cheap, and that's something that is very sad for a car like that, because from the outside this car looks just beautiful. So what else? This car is fully leather. The leather seats are pretty nice. The materials itself in the car, they feel quite nice. This nice trim here, looking like aluminum, but it's actually not. It's soft, and you have a lot of aluminum details, or at least aluminum looking details. You have a nice leather steering wheel from the S-Line, I think. Anyway, space-wise, there's also a little negative aspect about that. In the back seats, if you're sitting behind me, because I'm quite tall, you don't even have any space. I cannot even fit my cousin in there comfortably, and he's only 12 years old. So I think this isn't the right way. Should be a little bit bigger. if you have a tall person sitting behind the passenger would have to move that much forward that his knees would touch the dash, and I think that is quite uncomfortable right there. But to be fair, the trunk is pretty big on the other hand, which surprises me because the current A4 model, for example, the sedan version, the trunk of that car is, I think, just as big or even smaller than the trunk of this car. So I think that's quite good for a coupe, for a two-door coupe. The trunk space is quite big. Overall, I gotta tell you, this car has a pretty nice and reliable engine. It produces enough speed for traveling along the roadway, traveling anywhere, going fast as well. The V6 produces a nice sound, especially together with the center exhaust that we have fitted right there. In general, I really like this car. It's just fun to drive. It has easy capabilities of going 250 kilometers an hour. You reach that pretty fast, faster than you expect from a naturally aspirated engine of that age. So having fun on the German Autobahn is possible in this car. And also it handles pretty nice, especially the Quattro version is glued to the streets. But even this front wheel drive right here is pretty nice handling. Even in the mountains, if you have tight corners, if you want to go cornering very fast, this car allows you to do that with a little bit of understeer if you have the front wheel drive version, of course. But if you know where the limits are, then this car is just pure fun. All these downsides that I was talking about, you can easily forget about them, but there are some downsides or some things that happen to this car that I really don't accept, that I really don't understand why this happened to a German superior brand. And a few of these things that are shockingly bad for an Audi A5 is, for example, the passenger door wouldn't open anymore from the outside, just out of nowhere, and nobody knew what happened. And then I found out that this is not a common, but somehow common issue with this car. And Audi said, well, of course we have to pay for that repair because we didn't buy it in the first place. It was bought used and we didn't have any guarantee on it or anything like that. So they said, well, we'll charge you €1,000 for that. And that's quite much, I think, for just, well, replacing the door lock. I mean, come on, it doesn't have to be that expensive. We also had issues with the fuel cap that also wouldn't open anymore. I mean, you know, the locking system, when you close a car with the key, then the fuel cap, of course, wouldn't open anymore. And if you unlock the car, then the fuel cap is open and you can just press it down and it comes right up and you can open it and fill gas inside. So that's the normal usage of that. But the fuel cap of this car just wouldn't open anymore. And I had to rip it open because I had to get gas. I had to really break the fuel cap, and then we had it replaced. And that just happened out of nowhere. And I think that's kind of sad. You don't expect that from a German superior car to happen just out of nowhere. And I always say German superior car because a lot of people in the world think that Audi, Mercedes, and BMW are the three, I don't know, the gods of cars. I don't know. I don't really agree with that, but that's just to show you. Even German superior brand cars can break easily in some things like that. It just happens. But that doesn't change my mind in how exciting this car is to drive. Together with the lowered suspension and the exhaust, of course a turbo would increase its fun and enjoyment, but it's a naturally aspirated engine, so there's a good thing to that on the one hand, but a little more power could be useful, since this car, I feel like, is more a show-off than a performance car, because it sounds like an S5 or even like more than an S5, and sometimes you expect, or even other people on the street expect you to run 300 kilometers an hour when you just actually can't even keep up with the newer 3-liter diesel engines that Audi produces. That's just one of the downside if you apply a nice exhaust to a, well, kind of slower car. But in general, I have to tell you, I enjoyed my 2.5 years with this car. This car will be gone soon, so that's why I decided to make a video about it. I won't be able to drive it anymore, but I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it. Of course, overall gas consumption in this thing is not the best. You have around 11 to 12 liters per 100 kilometers if you drive more than 100 kilometers an hour, which is kind of much. But if you buy a car like that nowadays, I think you don't really look for a car to save fuel, because then you would buy something else for the same price. So in general, I can live with the things that are bad about this car. So if you're looking for a nice coupe to enjoy yourself, to enjoy the sound, if you apply a new exhaust, it just sounds great, then this car is very good. But if you're looking for a car that is fast, modern, and still saves you a lot of fuel and is, well, environmental friendly, then this is of course not the right choice. I think its efficiency class is ranked G, which is the worst efficiency class that exists. Anyways, overall this car is very nice. I just wanted to have a little review on it since it's going to be gone soon. I'm gonna still have some fun with it for the last few days. And thank you all for watching. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.